Right friends, welcome back to Insight. This is 8th week and look at the first sentence. National pension system is asking for a triple E status just like PPF and EPF. And what is this triple E and what is EET? Recently we are hearing these words quite frequently after the presentation of union budget. And before going into it, please don't forget there are two organizations. One is Pension Fund Regulatory Development Authority, PFRDA. PFRDA is Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority. It maintains national pension system, and at the same time Employees Provident Fund Organization. This maintains Employees Provident Fund. So national pension system is maintained by PFRDA. Employees Provident Fund is maintained by Employees Provident Fund Organization, and here there is a difference in the tax treatment. And before going into what is EEE and EET, you should understand tax can be imposed at 3 stages. If I am subscribing to national pension system for a period of suppose 20 years, then tax will come into picture at 3 stages. The first stage is when I am making contribution. When I am making contribution to NPS or EPF, tax will come into picture. Second is every year interest will be accredited or accumulated. So the first stage is when I am contributing to pension or provident fund. Second is when the accumulation of interest is taking place every year. Third is when I am finally withdrawing the corpus. So at 3 stages, tax will come into picture. The meaning of EEE is exempt, exempt, exempt. That means at these 3 stages, it is exempted from tax. What is the meaning of EET? EET means exempt, exempt tax. That means at the contribution stage, no tax. Then at the stage of accumulation of interest, no tax. But when you are withdrawing the corpus, it will be taxed. So that is EET. So before the presentation of this budget, this Employees Provident Fund has enjoying EEE status, and this national pension system was with EET status, and government wants to correct this anomaly and brought some changes in the budget, and it created a lot of controversy, and we are going to discuss these things subsequently in the union budget. And if someone says EEE, that is exempt, exempt, exempt. If someone says EET, that is exempt, exempt and tax. And this pertains to tax matters at 3 stages. One is at the contribution stage, second one is at the accumulation of interest stage, and third one is at the stage of withdrawal of corpus. Right? Look into the next one. Government of India is expected to impose anti-dumping duty of up to 44.74% on imports of plastic processing machines from Malaysia, Philippines and Vietnam. And there are 3 duties which can be imposed and which are accepted by World Trade Organization when there is a genuine reason. When there is a genuine reason, these 3 types of duties can be imposed on the imports, and these 3 are WTO compliant. That means WTO will not object when there is a valid reason or valid ground. What are these 3? Safeguard duty. This is a temporary measure when there is a sudden surge in imports. This can be imposed so as to protect the domestic industry. Second one is most important, anti-dumping duty. Sometimes foreign importers may sell their products in our country at less than normal value, so as to eliminate domestic competition. Sometimes with ulterior motive, foreign companies can sell the goods in our country at less than the normal value or at less than the market value, and this is known as dumping. Dumping means export of goods by a country to another country at a price lower than its normal value. Under these circumstances, governments can impose anti-dumping duty. Third one is countervailing duty. If you look at some agriculture products, in some countries there are several subsidies given by the governments. Some governments give several subsidies, and as such the production cost will be very less in those countries. They may try to export those products at lesser prices because they are enjoying lot many subsidies by their governments. Under those circumstances, the country which is importing these products can impose countervailing duty or anti-subsidy duty. So, these three types of duties can be imposed which are WTO compliant, and when it comes to anti-dumping duty and countervailing duty, the nodal authority is Directorate General of Anti-Dumping and Allied Duties. This is the nodal authority and this is under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. This recommends the imposition of anti-dumping duty and countervailing duty, and finally Ministry of Finance will take the final decision. The recommendation is given by Directorate General of Anti-Dumping and Allied Duties, but the final decision will be taken by Ministry of Finance because Ministry of Finance notifies anti-dumping duty as well as countervailing duty. Right? These duties, please don't forget, and these are WTO compliant. Nowadays, several products are being dumped into the country. Steel products, this case is plastic processing machines. When such products are being dumped into the country, then governments can impose anti-dumping duty if there is a genuine reason. Look into the next one. United Kingdom is going for referendum on June 23 whether to stay in European Union or not. We have already discussed in the lecture part in detail. There is a feeling that Germany is dominating the bloc and United Kingdom is divided in its opinion. Across the country, the opinion is divided, and the European Union is a group of 28 countries, and there are wide differences persist among various European Union countries with regard to the migration of people from Syria and Afghanistan. And recently EU summit was held in Brussels and UK Prime Minister obtained some concessions from European Union leaders. And finally, June 23 is the date which will decide the continuation of United Kingdom in European Union. Look into the next one. Union Cabinet approved a proposal for ratification of Trade Facilitation Agreement. What is the meaning of Trade Facilitation Agreement? Trade Facilitation Agreement is WTO's agreement, and here it will reduce customs rules or customs duties. The ultimate aim of Trade Facilitation Agreement is to reduce customs rules or customs duties among various countries. There are 162 members in WTO, and please don't forget, Liberia and Afghanistan are going to join as WTO members shortly. And this Trade Facilitation Agreement was conceived in November 2014, and 2/3 of these members, that means out of 162 members, 2/3 have to ratify it. And India decided to ratify it because Union Cabinet gave its approval for ratification of Trade Facilitation Agreement. And some of the critics or experts felt that too early signing of this Trade Facilitation Agreement may not be in India's interest. Because of this, India may lose bargaining power at WTO with regard to public stockholding for food security, and at the same time mechanism to safeguard Indian farmers from import surges of farm products. And these two are very important as far as WTO is concerned. Not only India, developing countries are facing certain problems in the WTO framework with regard to special safeguard mechanism as well as public stockholding for food security in developing countries. Look into the next one. Is light fidelity the future of internet? And Presently, we are using radio frequency waves as medium to carry data, and if you look at this light fidelity or Li-Fi, this is a new technology which uses light waves, and LED bulb can act as both emitter of light as well as carrier of internet. And this was coined by the Professor Harold Haas of University of Edinburgh for the first time in 2011, and he recently demonstrated the technology in Bengaluru. I have given what are the advantages because visible light spectrum is available in plenty. No license is required for using this, and it is not harmful, and it will not interfere with electronic circuitry, and it can achieve almost 1,000 times the data speeds what we are getting through Wi-Fi. So, several advantages are there, and disadvantage is its inability to pass through walls and other structures. That is the major drawback. Recently, Harold Haas demonstrated the technology in Bengaluru. Right friends, look into the last issue. Price to book value of State Bank of India is 0.68. Canara Bank is 0.23 and Bank of India is 0.17. What is the reason for it? What is the meaning of price to book value? Book value is the value in the books for the stock. Book value of any stock or any share is obtained based on assets and liabilities. Based on assets and liabilities and total shares outstanding. To be specific, book value is nothing but assets minus liabilities divided by total shares outstanding. Suppose the book value of State Bank of India share is 100 rupees. That means the worth of having State Bank of India share is 100 rupees, but it is now selling at 68 only. That is the meaning of 0.68. And if the book value of share of Canara Bank is 100, then it is selling at 23 rupees. If you look at Bank of India, if the book value is 100, it is selling at 17 rupees. The share values or market values of shares for various public sector banks have fallen drastically in recent times. The reason is they are reporting losses. Why do they report losses? Because of the reason Raghuram Rajan recently stated, please identify gross non-performing assets, and after identification, please ensure provisioning. You may ask, what is provisioning? Provisioning is the amount which the banks are required to set aside from their profits once the loan goes bad. So, Raghuram Rajan is very particular about identification of gross non-performing assets. Not only that, please ensure provisioning. Because of these two things, banks are reporting losses in recent times, and accordingly, the stock prices have slumped for various public sector banks. That's why the price to book value of several public sector banks have gone abysmally low in recent times. Right friends, let us conclude insight for this week, and please do join for other modules. Not only other modules, please do join for economic survey, railway budget and union budget. Have a nice day. Thank you.